Most people think successful women are born confident. They think these women wake up every morning fearless, motivated, and strong. But that's not true. The difference is not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. The real difference is the way they train their mind. Successful women understand something most people never learn. Your mind can either become your greatest power or your biggest limitation. Every day, they choose discipline over excuses, growth over comfort, self-respect over approval. And while the world is distracted by appearances, they focus on mindset. Because confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build through habits, through pain, through consistency. And in this video, we're going to explore how successful women think, act, and train their mind to become unstoppable. Successful women understand that every action begins with a thought. Before confidence appears on the outside, it is created internally through the way they speak to themselves every single day. They know that the mind is constantly shaping emotions, decisions, habits, and behavior. Because of this, they become extremely careful about what they allow to live inside their mind. They do not entertain thoughts that weaken them, destroy their confidence, or make them doubt their value. Instead of allowing negativity to control them, they train themselves to think with awareness, discipline, and purpose. Most people allow their mind to wander without control. One negative opinion ruins their mood. One failure convinces them they are not good enough. One rejection makes them question their entire future. Successful women think differently. They understand that thoughts are powerful, and they refuse to become prisoners of fear, insecurity, or self-doubt. Even during difficult moments, they consciously choose thoughts that help them move forward instead of staying stuck. They also understand that confidence is not about never feeling fear. Fear exists in every human being. The difference is that confident women do not obey every fearful thought that enters their mind. They challenge it, they question it, they replace it with stronger beliefs. When the mind says, "You can't do this," they train themselves to respond with action instead of excuses. Over time, this creates emotional strength that most people never develop. Successful women are also aware of the information they consume daily. They know the mind absorbs everything it repeatedly sees and hears. That is why they avoid environments filled with negativity, gossip, toxic comparisons, and constant criticism. They protect their mental space because they know their thoughts influence their future. Instead of feeding their mind with distractions, they choose books, conversations, ideas, and habits that help them grow stronger mentally and emotionally. Another reason they control their thoughts is because they understand the danger of overthinking. Many people destroy opportunities not because they lack ability, but because they spend too much time doubting themselves. Successful women learn how to quiet unnecessary noise inside their head. They stop replaying mistakes. They stop imagining worst-case scenarios. They stop seeking perfection before taking action. They understand that progress is always more powerful than endless hesitation. They also refuse to define themselves by temporary emotions. Some days they feel motivated, and some days they do not. But they do not allow emotions to decide their identity. They know feelings change constantly, but mindset creates consistency. Even when they feel tired, uncertain, or discouraged, they continue training their mind to focus on discipline, purpose, and resilience. Successful women also practice self-respect through their thoughts. They do not constantly insult themselves internally. They do not build habits of self-hate or comparison. They understand that the relationship they have with themselves affects every area of life, including relationships, career, confidence, and personal growth. Because of this, they learn how to speak to themselves with strength instead of weakness. Over time, controlling their thoughts becomes a daily mental habit. They become calmer under pressure, stronger during failure, and more focused during challenges because they have trained their mind not to panic every time life becomes difficult. Their external success is often a reflection of internal discipline, that successful women understand that energy is one of the most valuable things they possess. They know that where their energy goes, their focus, emotions, and results will follow. Because of this, they become intentional about the people they allow around them, the conversations they entertain, and the environments they stay connected to. They realize that constant negativity, drama, stress, and emotional chaos slowly destroy confidence and mental clarity. Instead of giving everyone unlimited access to their time and emotions, they learn how to protect their peace. Many people spend their lives emotionally exhausted because they try to please everyone around them. They say yes when they want to say no. They tolerate disrespect because they fear losing people. They absorb other people's problems until they no longer recognize their own happiness. Successful women think differently. They understand that protecting their energy is not selfish. It is necessary for growth, confidence, and emotional stability. They become aware of how certain people affect their mindset. Some people inspire growth, while others constantly create doubt, insecurity, and stress. Successful women stop forcing connections that drain them mentally. They distance themselves from people who constantly complain, manipulate, criticize, or compete with them. They understand that energy is contagious. Being surrounded by negativity long enough eventually changes the way a person thinks and feels. Protecting their energy also means learning how to set boundaries. Confident women do not feel guilty for creating limits. They know they cannot constantly sacrifice their mental health just to keep others comfortable. They stop explaining themselves to people who never try to understand them. They stop giving endless chances to those who repeatedly disrespect their peace. Instead of trying to fix everyone, they focus on protecting their own emotional balance. Successful women are also careful about how they spend their time online. They know social media can either inspire growth or create unhealthy comparison. Constantly watching other people's lives can quietly damage self-esteem and create pressure to become someone else. That is why they become selective about what they consume. They unfollow negativity. They avoid toxic content. They choose information that helps them feel stronger, wiser, and more focused instead of insecure. Another reason they protect their energy is because they understand that distraction destroys progress. Every argument, every unnecessary drama, and every emotionally draining situation steals focus from their goals, while others waste energy proving themselves to people. Successful women invest their energy into growth, discipline, and purpose. They know success requires mental clarity, and mental clarity is impossible when the mind is constantly overwhelmed by chaos. They also understand the importance of solitude. Successful women are not afraid to spend time alone because they know silence helps them reconnect with themselves. In quiet moments, and they reflect, reset, and regain emotional strength. They do not constantly seek validation, attention, or noise to feel valuable. They become comfortable protecting their inner peace, even if it means walking away from environments that no longer align with their growth. Protecting energy also includes emotional control. Successful women do not react emotionally to every opinion, insult, or misunderstanding. They realize not every battle deserves their attention. Sometimes the strongest response is silence, distance, and self-control. Instead of wasting emotional energy trying to win every argument, they focus on maintaining their composure and protecting their mindset. Over time, this habit changes the quality of their life completely. Their mind becomes calmer, their focus becomes sharper, and their confidence becomes stronger because they stop allowing unnecessary negativity to control their emotions and direction. Successful women understand that discipline is more important than temporary motivation. Motivation comes and goes depending on emotions, circumstances, and mood, but discipline creates consistency even on difficult days. They know that real success is not built through occasional effort. It is built through small actions repeated every single day, especially when nobody is watching. Instead of waiting to feel ready, they train themselves to take action regardless of how they feel. Most people only work hard when they feel inspired. They start strong, but quickly lose focus when things become uncomfortable or repetitive. Successful women think differently. They understand that growth often happens during boring routines, quiet mornings, and moments when giving up feels easier than continuing. They accept that success is not glamorous every day. Sometimes it requires sacrifice, patience, and showing up even when results are invisible. They create routines because they know routines reduce excuses. Discipline becomes easier when positive habits are repeated consistently. Successful women organize their time carefully because they understand that lack of structure leads to distraction and wasted potential. They plan their days with intention instead of allowing laziness, social media, or emotions to control their schedule. Every productive habit strengthens their confidence because keeping promises to themselves builds self-respect. They also understand that discipline creates freedom. Many people believe discipline is restrictive, but successful women realize the opposite is true. Without discipline, people become controlled by bad habits, procrastination, stress, and emotional instability. Discipline gives them control over their actions, decisions, and future. It allows them to stay focused on long-term goals even when short-term distractions appear attractive. Another reason disciplined women succeed is because they stop depending on perfect conditions. They do not wait for life to become easier before improving themselves. They continue learning, growing, and working through difficult seasons. Even when they feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain, they continue moving forward one step at a time. They understand that consistency during hard times creates strength that comfort can never produce. Successful women are also disciplined with their mindset. They do not allow negative emotions to control their entire day. They know everyone experiences stress, fear, and setbacks, but emotionally strong women refuse to stay trapped in those feelings for too long. They train themselves to refocus quickly instead of wasting energy complaining about situations they cannot change. This mental discipline allows them to remain calm under pressure and focus during challenges. They are disciplined with their health as well. They understand that energy, focus, and emotional stability are deeply connected to physical habits. They prioritize sleep, movement, healthy routines, and self-care not just for appearance, but because they know their body affects their ability to perform mentally and emotionally. They respect themselves enough to take care of the habits that support their growth. Successful women also understand the importance of delayed gratification. They are willing to sacrifice temporary comfort for long-term success. While others seek instant pleasure, validation, or shortcuts, disciplined women focus on building a future they can be proud of. They understand that lasting success often requires patience and persistence long before rewards appear. Over time, discipline becomes part of their identity. They no longer see consistency as something difficult because repeated action creates momentum. Their confidence grows stronger because they trust themselves to continue moving forward even when motivation disappears. Their success is often the result of ordinary habits repeated with extraordinary consistency. Successful women understand that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the process that creates growth, wisdom, and resilience. While many people become emotionally destroyed by mistakes, confident women learn how to use difficult experiences as lessons instead of life sentences. They know that every successful person has faced rejection, disappointment, criticism, and moments of uncertainty. The difference is that strong women refuse to let failure define their identity. Most people fear failure because they connect it with embarrassment or weakness. They avoid taking risks because they are afraid of judgment. Successful women think differently. They understand that avoiding failure often means avoiding growth. Every challenge teaches something valuable about patience, discipline, emotional control, or self-awareness. Instead of running from uncomfortable experiences, they allow those moments to strengthen their mindset. They also know that growth requires leaving comfort zones behind. A person cannot become stronger while staying emotionally safe all the time. Successful women challenge themselves even when they feel nervous or uncertain. They apply for opportunities before feeling fully ready. They speak up even when fear exists. They take action despite the possibility of rejection because they understand confidence is built through courage, not comfort. Another reason successful women embrace failure is because they do not expect perfection from themselves. Many people quit too early because they believe mistakes mean they are incapable. Strong women understand that mastery takes time. They do not become discouraged by slow progress. Instead of demanding perfection immediately, they stay patient with their growth and continue improving step by step. They also refuse to waste energy pretending they have everything figured out. Successful women remain open to learning because they know growth never truly ends. They listen, observe, ask questions, and learn from experiences instead of allowing ego to block improvement. Every mistake becomes feedback instead of proof of weakness. This mindset allows them to evolve constantly while others remain stuck repeating the same habits. Failure also teaches emotional strength. Difficult moments reveal how a person responds under pressure. Successful women learn how to stay calm during setbacks instead of emotionally collapsing every time life becomes difficult. They understand that pain, rejection, and disappointment are temporary experiences, not permanent identities. This emotional resilience allows them to recover faster and continue moving forward when others give up. They also understand that criticism is unavoidable. The moment someone begins growing, improving, or becoming visible, criticism appears. Successful women stop trying to please everyone because they realize no successful person escapes judgment. Instead of allowing negative opinions to destroy their confidence, they focus on their purpose and continue improving themselves. They become selective about whose opinions truly matter. Successful women also embrace growth by taking responsibility for their choices. Instead of blaming others for every problem, they honestly reflect on what they can improve. This level of accountability gives them power because it keeps them focused on solutions instead of excuses. They understand that growth begins the moment a person becomes willing to learn from their own mistakes. Over time, embracing failure changes their relationship with fear completely. They stop seeing setbacks as something shameful and begin seeing them as part of becoming stronger. Challenges build wisdom, rejection builds resilience, and difficult experiences build emotional maturity. Their confidence grows because they realize they can survive uncomfortable situations and still continue moving forward with strength, focus, and self-belief. Successful women understand their value without needing constant approval from others. Their confidence is not built on attention, compliments, or validation. It comes from the way they see themselves internally. They know that self-worth affects every decision a person makes, including relationships, boundaries, goals, and personal standards. Because of this, they spend time building a strong relationship with themselves instead of depending on the world to constantly remind them of their value. Many people struggle with self-worth because they compare themselves to others. They measure their beauty, success, intelligence, or lifestyle against what they see online or around them. Successful women understand that comparison quietly destroys confidence. Instead of focusing on what others have, they focus on becoming the best version of themselves. They know every person has a different journey, different timing, and different challenges. Constant comparison only creates insecurity and distracts people from their own growth. Women with strong self-worth also understand that they deserve respect. Because of this, they stop tolerating behavior that damages their peace, confidence, or emotional health. They no longer beg for attention, chase validation, or remain in situations where they feel constantly unappreciated. They understand that accepting disrespect often comes from not recognizing personal value. When a woman truly knows her worth, her standards naturally become stronger. Successful women are also careful about the way they speak to themselves internally. They understand that self-worth begins with self-talk. Constant self-criticism slowly weakens confidence and creates emotional insecurity. Instead of insulting themselves after every mistake, they practice self-awareness and growth without destroying their own identity. They understand that being imperfect does not make them less valuable. Another reason they believe in self-worth is because they know external success alone cannot create inner confidence. Money, beauty, attention, or achievements may impress people temporarily, but true confidence comes from self-respect. Successful women focus on becoming emotionally strong, mentally disciplined, and personally fulfilled because they know confidence built only on external things disappears quickly when life becomes difficult. They also stop seeking approval from everyone around them. Many people live according to other people's opinions and expectations. They are afraid to disappoint others, afraid to be judged, and afraid to be misunderstood. Successful women eventually realize that constantly trying to please everyone leads to emotional exhaustion. They accept that not everyone will understand their choices, goals, or personality, and they stop shrinking themselves to fit into spaces where they are not valued. Women with self-worth also protect their time and energy differently. They stop over-explaining themselves. They stop chasing people who show no effort. They stop forcing relationships that feel one-sided. Instead of trying to convince others of their value, they quietly focus on growth, purpose, and inner peace. Their confidence becomes visible through their behavior, standards, and emotional stability. Successful women also understand that self-worth grows through action. Every time they keep promises to themselves, overcome challenges, or stay loyal to their values, their confidence becomes stronger. They build trust with themselves through consistency and discipline. Over time, they stop doubting their ability to handle life because they have already proven their strength to themselves repeatedly. This mindset changes how they walk, speak, think, and respond to life. They stop settling for less because they no longer believe they are less. Their confidence becomes calm, grounded, and powerful because it is built on self-respect rather than outside validation. Successful women understand the importance of thinking beyond temporary emotions and short-term comfort. While many people become distracted by instant gratification, confident women train themselves to focus on the bigger picture. They know that real success is not built overnight. It requires patience, consistency, sacrifice, and the ability to stay committed even when progress feels slow. Instead of chasing quick results, they build habits and mindsets that support long-term growth. Most people struggle because they want immediate rewards. They lose motivation when success does not happen quickly. They start comparing their timeline to others and begin doubting themselves when life feels slower than expected. Successful women think differently. They understand that meaningful growth takes time. They stay focused on where they want to be years from now instead of becoming emotionally controlled by temporary setbacks. They also understand that every small decision shapes the future. The way they spend their time, protect their health, manage relationships, and develop habits all influence the life they eventually create. Because of this, they become intentional with daily choices. They stop wasting energy on distractions that provide temporary pleasure but destroy long-term progress. They know discipline today creates freedom tomorrow. Successful women are also willing to sacrifice comfort for future success, while others avoid difficult tasks. Disciplined women understand that discomfort is often necessary for growth. They study when they feel tired. They continue learning even after failure. They remain committed to goals during seasons when nobody notices their effort. They know short-term sacrifice often creates long-term rewards that most people never experience because they quit too early. Another reason successful women focus on long-term goals is because they understand emotional decisions can ruin progress. Temporary anger, insecurity, loneliness, or fear can push people into making choices they later regret. Strong women train themselves to think carefully before reacting emotionally. Instead of asking, "What feels good right now?" they ask, "Will this decision help my future?" This mindset helps them stay aligned with their purpose, even during difficult moments. They also stop allowing distractions to control their direction. In a world filled with endless entertainment, social media, and comparison, staying focused has become difficult for many people. Successful women protect their vision carefully because they know distraction steals potential. They become selective about what deserves their attention. Instead of constantly chasing trends, validation, or meaningless drama, they invest energy into building the future they truly want. Successful women also understand that long-term goals require patience with themselves. Growth is rarely perfect or linear. Some seasons bring visible progress, while others feel slow and uncertain. Instead of giving up during difficult phases, they continue showing up consistently. They trust the process even when results are delayed because they understand lasting success is built slowly through repeated effort. Relationships are another area where they think long-term. They stop entertaining people who waste their time, drain their energy, or pull them away from their goals. They choose connections that align with their values, peace, and future vision. They know the people around them influence mindset, habits, and emotional stability, so they become intentional about who has access to their life. Over time, this long-term mindset creates emotional maturity and inner stability. Successful women stop becoming easily discouraged by temporary struggles because they remain focused on the bigger vision. They understand that one difficult moment does not define an entire future, and they continue moving forward with patience, discipline, and purpose. Successful women understand that depending on constant validation from others is one of the fastest ways to lose confidence and inner peace. When a person's happiness depends entirely on praise, attention, or approval, they become emotionally controlled by other people's opinions. Strong women refuse to build their identity that way. They learn how to believe in themselves even when nobody is clapping for them, supporting them, or noticing their effort. Most people seek validation because they want reassurance that they are good enough. They constantly look for approval through social media, relationships, appearance, achievements, or attention from others. When they receive praise, they feel valuable. When they are ignored or criticized, they feel insecure. Successful women recognize this emotional cycle and choose not to live trapped inside it. They understand that true confidence cannot survive if it depends on external opinions. They stop explaining themselves to everyone because they know not every person will understand their journey, goals, or decisions. Instead of wasting energy trying to convince people of their worth, they focus on living in alignment with their values. They become comfortable being misunderstood because they realize growth often requires making choices that others may not agree with. Successful women are also secure enough to spend time alone. They do not constantly need attention to feel important. Many people stay in unhealthy relationships, toxic friendships, or emotionally draining situations simply because they fear loneliness. Strong women think differently. They would rather protect their peace than stay connected to people who only provide temporary validation. They understand that loneliness is temporary, but losing self-respect creates long-term emotional damage. Another reason they stop depending on validation is because they understand people's opinions constantly change. One day people praise you, and the next day they criticize you. Building confidence on unstable opinions creates emotional instability. Successful women choose to trust their own standards instead of allowing public approval to control their self-worth. They know who they are even when nobody reminds them. They also stop seeking validation through perfection. Many people become obsessed with appearing flawless because they want acceptance from others. Successful women realize perfection is impossible. They stop hiding every weakness and stop pretending to have everything figured out. Instead, they focus on authenticity, growth, and self-awareness. Their confidence becomes stronger because it is based on honesty rather than performance. Successful women also understand that chasing validation often leads people to abandon their true identity. People start changing their personality, appearance, goals, or behavior just to fit in or gain acceptance. Confident women refuse to lose themselves trying to impress others. They stay connected to their values even if it means standing alone sometimes. They know temporary approval is never worth sacrificing authenticity. They become emotionally independent as well. This does not mean they never appreciate love, support, or encouragement. It means they do not emotionally collapse when those things are absent. They continue believing in themselves during quiet seasons when nobody notices their hard work. They stay committed to their goals even without constant recognition because their motivation comes from purpose, not applause. Over time, this mindset creates powerful inner confidence. Successful women stop chasing attention because they no longer need outside voices to confirm their value. Their energy becomes calmer, stronger, and more grounded because they trust themselves deeply. Instead of seeking approval from the world, they focus on becoming someone they can genuinely respect when they look in the mirror.